Okay, hello everybody. I got my Roland FA-08 a few days ago, and I want to give my personal opinion about this workstation. I think I've gone through most of the sounds and the sound categories on this synthesizer, and I would like to share with you the sounds that I think inspires me to play and to compose, and also the sounds that actually do not inspire me, or maybe sounds that I think actually are missing on this workstation. I've downloaded 2 expansions for this synth from the Roland Axial site. It's the second expansion called Keys, and the Strings expansion. And of course it's very nice to be able to add more sounds by just downloading them from this site. And I think these 2 expansions include some really nice additional sounds. Well, the piano sound that you heard here in the beginning is the default grand piano sound, the full grand one. And yeah, it's really nice. It uses the Roland Supernatural engine to make it more realistic and inspiring. And it's really a nice piano sound. I also own a Yamaha digital piano, and well, maybe I do think the Yamaha piano sound is a little bit more richer, but I do enjoy the piano sound of this Roland FA-08 as well. And since you can tweak the piano sound a little bit or modify it a little bit, you can actually get a sound that fits your personal taste. And this is the full grand one. Yeah, and it's nice. And here we have the full grand 3, which is, well, mostly the same sound, but a little bit brighter, maybe. I think it's nice. And I've also tweaked the grand piano sound a little bit, and here is my full grand. And when you just play the piano sound with no additional sounds, well, I like to have a little bit more reverb and a little more a little boost in the higher frequencies, and maybe a little more resonance. So this is my full grand that I use when I just playing the piano, at least soft piano. Yeah, it's a really nice sound. And well, let me play for you some other sounds that I think are nice and inspiring. Here's stage grand piano, and well, it's like Phil Collins 80s sound. And of course there is an electric piano, electric pianos. Of course, there are a lot of piano sounds on this machine, and but of course there is the main like electric piano, and this is called 76 Pure. And well, and then it's a nice electric piano sound. I wasn't blown away by the electric piano sounds on this machine, but they are, well, they are nice and they are usable, and well. Yeah, it's a good piano sound, electric piano sound. But since it's so easy to tweak the sounds on this workstation, of course, almost all sounds get better when you put a little bit of overdrive on it. So this is real nice. This is the electric piano with just a little overdrive added to it. Well, excuse me for my playing. But yeah, just by tweaking the sound a little bit, you can get a really nice electric piano sound with a little dirty piano sound. And then there are lots of nice electric piano sounds, like more mellow sounds for ballads, and there are a lot of nice sounds if you like to play soft tunes, ballads. For example, well, this is one. Well, maybe not the best one. And this one. There are a lot of these soft electric piano sounds that are really nice. And here is the 68 reed sound, which I also put a little bit overdrive to it, just to get it a little bit more dirty. Typical Supertramp sound. And well, one more soft electric piano. This is nice also. Sweet Tines, that was called. Yet another one. Yeah, this workstation overflows with nice ballad sounds. And this is really nice. This is from the keys expansion. Now, how is that Chicago intro on Hard Habit to Break? something like that. But it's really this 80 ballad sound. It's nice. Okay, it's very easy to layer sounds on this workstation. You just press the dual button here and choose the sounds you want, and adjust the layer levels if necessary. And of course, a classic dual sound is of course a piano sound with a pad or a string. And let me play for you a nice dual sound, which is the full grand 3 with a string pad added called fat strings. And then I've just adjusted the levels, so the string pad has a lower volume. But this is a really nice sound. Yes. And before we move on to some other sound categories, let me talk about the pad buttons over here. This can be used to trigger samples, for example during a live performance, which is a feature I like and which I think is useful. You can, for example, start a backing track or trigger other sounds you need during a performance. And I think that's a useful feature. Now, there are some default samples in this machine, and you can just trigger them. Just to give you an example. Well, just to give you an idea. And you can also use these pad buttons to select sounds during a live performance. And in this machine, you group your sounds in so-called sound sets with like 15 patches per sound set or something like that. And I've grouped my favorite sounds in sound sets. But you can also create a sound set for each song during a live performance, and then you can use the pad buttons to select the current sound patch. And if I just get back to my sound set with all my favorite pianos, and then I just press pad utility in pad mode, and then I choose the part select mode. Now the pad buttons can be used to select the current sound. And these are all my favorite piano sounds that I've played for you. And that's a simple and neat way to choose sound patches. Okay, let's check some more sounds on this synthesizer. Of course, there are some organ sounds, a lot of organ sounds, and for example this B3 Jazz 1. And yeah, that's an okay sound. It's certainly useful in a live performance, but well, maybe not the best organ, but the organs are still fine. I think they are okay, and especially the rock organs, they are really nice. This is the C3 Rock 1, for example, and as I said before, if you add a little dirt to the sounds, they often get better and get more inspiring. And even more dirt. This is nice. And of course, a lot of soft organs could be useful. Soft organ. Yeah, I really like the organs on this synthesizer. I think they are useful and good. And you got clavinets. They are also there are a lot of clavs. You'll find the clav that you need, and of course with a little drive you get a better sound. Well, this workstation got at least one accordion that is really good, and in my opinion it sounds realistic and lifelike. It's like this. A really good accordion. And this sound is also really good. The blues harp. Really good blues harp sound. Then of course we have the basses. I won't go through all basses. You got the basses you need, and they are really good and sound realistic. This is the acoustic bass, and of course there's a lot of fingered bass, and they all sound good in my ears. A little more heavy. basses. And also, I like the acoustic guitars on this workstation. Well, some people say the Yamaha acoustic guitars are better. I don't know, I haven't listened to them, but for me, these acoustic guitars are inspiring and nice to play. Also uses the Supernatural engine. That's a nice acoustic guitar. And some steel guitars. This is a PCM patch, and it's kind of hard to play because different velocities give different sounds, but it's the XV steel guitar one. Maybe it could be useful in some song. And this is a nylon on pad. And of course, it's nice to layer acoustic guitar with a pad. This isn't actually a dual sound, it's one patch, but you could certainly create a very nice dual sound of your own with an acoustic guitar and a pad. Yeah, and this one is the GC Strat, which I know from my previous Roland synth, and which is a sound I have used in a lot of songs. That's it. Well, a simple sound, but very useful. Yes, organs and guitars and basses. I think you got the sounds you need on this workstation. And of course there are some distorted guitars. Well, you got them if you need them, but in most cases you don't. Well, at least I do not need that kind of sounds from a synthesizer. And here is a typical solo, distorted solo guitar. Well, we've heard it before. Now let's check the string sounds. And I think you have a lot of nice string sounds and string pads, but not solo strings like a solo violin or solo cello. Unfortunately, I cannot find inspiring solo string sounds on this machine, but maybe there is some sounds I do not know of on the orchestral expansion, but I haven't checked that out. But there are, when it comes to ensemble strings and like string pads, there are a lot of nice sounds, and I think you find the sounds you need. This is the string section 1. nice sound. And this is a chamber section with like four strings or something like that. And there are some mellotron-like sounds, and since I am a fan of old progressive rock and like Genesis and stuff like that, I do like the mellotron sounds, and this is well, a mellotron-like sound, and well, it could be useful. Symphonic strings. One more string sound, the soundtrack strings. With some added brightness to it, and a pop string sound for some bumpy patches, bumpy phrases. Okay. String and horns. Okay, and now we come to the solo brass patches, and as for the solo strings, which I do think they are probably not that good as on the Yamaha, that also it's the same for the solo brass, because I do miss some really inspiring solo brass sounds. For example, a saxophone or a trumpet. Well, they are quite good, but well, not that inspiring that I would like. But this is a trombone. Well, it's quite nice. Yeah. But you got a lot of like brass sounds, like more ensemble brass, and I think you find what you need. Here's a nice flute. Well, I could also use one or more inspiring flute sounds. There are not that many good flute sounds on this machine, but this is nice. But I think you can take one of the existing flute sounds and maybe modify them a bit to get a nice flute that you like. Here's a big band sax patch. Yeah, that is good. Let's move on to some Vox sounds. And you got a lot of nice Vox sounds, voice sounds. When it comes to pads generally, you got all the pads you need on this workstation. Nice. Okay, so voice pads and pads like that, you got all the sounds you need. And the same is for the lead sounds. You got tons of nice lead sounds on this workstation, and they are all rich, nice, and you have a lot of inspiring sounds. This is the saw lead 2. There are tons of saw lead sounds. It's a little bit more raw sound. There's some you could do some shredding. Sorry. Of course, tons of square leads. Okay, a little bit more mellow flute-like sound. This is nice. And this is real nice. Some dirt to it. Real nice. Okay, so you got all the lead sounds you need, and I also think you got all the synth brass sounds you need. All the typical jump sounds, and of course, since it is so easy to dual sounds or even layer more sounds, 3 or 4 sounds, you could of course layer like 3 or 4 brass sounds to get a really heavy synth brass. You got a lot of these brass sounds. And then of course you got the like the synth string, the classic GP8 strings. Like I said before, you got all the pads you need. And you got all these Fantasia bell sounds, of course. Classic classic Roland Fantasia sound, and this is Staccato Heaven. Well, got a lot of poly key sounds. I don't use them that often, but maybe there's something that is useful. One more pad. And you got a lot of like these pulsating synth pads and stuff like that. This is just a sweep sound. It's nice to use in the bass. One more poly key sound. It's nice because it's got some overdrive. One example of a pulsating sound. Got tons of these kind of sounds. Well, and that's really some examples of the sounds on this workstation, and yeah, I really enjoy the sounds of this synthesizer, the piano sounds, the organ sounds, the string pads, and well, I think I got the sounds that I need, and I like the key action, key bed, and maybe it's a little bit heavy if you do some like fast like riff phrases stuff. But I really like the keys, the key action on this keyboard, and you can also do some real-time modification. Oh, that was wrong. For example, changing the cutoff on a pad and stuff like that. And I think it's very easy to split sounds, to layer sounds, to modify the sounds. I haven't checked the manual one single time. You don't have to. And I like the pad buttons. Well, maybe what I do miss some solo string sounds, some solo brass sounds. So if you're into orchestral stuff, maybe you shouldn't choose this Roland FA-08. But when it comes to solo synth sounds and pads and, well, stuff like that for normal pop and rock songs, I think you got all the stuff you need in this workstation. Thank you very much. Bye.